Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the hashtag TFR Motivation Monday Zoom. We are Dr. Dondi and Marcy Nettles. We are your hosts, but we have a very special guest tonight in Master Pro 10 Rye Fry. We are so excited that we finally got this book. We tried before and he got sick and wasn't able to get on, so we kind of pivoted for a while. But here we are in 2022. We've got Rye Fry on as a special guest to talk to you about Vision Summit. Some of you may have heard of it. Most of you probably haven't, but that is going to change and change rapidly. It is going to be the event of the century, in our opinion, of what LifeVantage has to offer, and Rye Fry will be sharing it with us here shortly. But before we get into that, we want to tell you about this YouTube channel.
Yeah, so guys, we have got this YouTube channel, Team Freedom Reigns. Just go and find us. Please go and subscribe, ring the bell, ask for notifications, because every time that we do a training, we upload it there so that you have free access to be able to utilize it, go back to it when you need it, when you have questions, and also to share with your new people as they come on. Plus, a lot of it's really great strategy for third party, utilizing it with people that are ready to jump in, showing them the team aspect. So make sure that you're using Team Freedom Reigns on YouTube. So let's just jump right into this because we have got a master with us. I mean, like literally a master. So let me tell you a little bit about Rye Fry before, or actually, do you want to talk about the call or do you want me to talk about Rye Fry first?
Go for it.
All right. So Rye Fry is actually a top network marketing leader and has been for 15 years. He's built massive international sales organizations in four, billion-dollar companies previously, and his team has generated over 250,000 plus customers, producing over 500 million in lifetime sales. So Rye has been with LifeVantage for only 4 years and is the newest Master Pro 10. Yes. So we are so excited, and we have had the honor of partnering up with him on this venture, and so really getting to know him and Christy better has been one of the blessings from 2021 for us. But do you want to talk about why we've got Rye coming in here tonight?
Yeah, Rye pitched this to us probably 6 months ago, I think, about this idea that he had, and it's something very new. We've never done anything like this at LifeVantage, but we were eager to listen. We were honored to be invited to it, and it was just absolutely cool to watch this go from inception and idea to actually start implementing it, have weekly Zoom calls to strategize it and formulate it and plan it and get all the speakers and get everything all structured. And then we've now had 4 events that we've participated in, and every one has been better than the previous one, and every one has been absolutely stellar. So if you can think, you start stellar and you get better every single time, that's what this is. And it is just an amazing event that Rye Fry brought to the company, brought to several leaders, which he's going to share with you. But we wanted to have the guy behind the vision to come on and share it with you and just hear from his heart, hear from his mind on how this came to be and what the future potential is of Vision Summit, the monthly event at corporate headquarters, with the exception of the months that we have Elite Academies and Convention. But Rye Fry, please, please welcome the newest Master Pro 10 at LifeVantage, Rye Fry. Rye Fry, please join us and take it away, buddy.
Woo!
Right on. Thanks, Dondi. Thanks, Marcy. It's Happy New Year, everyone. Can you believe we are in 2022 and here we are. We're changing our lives and we're choosing in. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone that is on this phone call. Here we are, January 3rd. And I really feel like the first couple weeks of this month really set the tone for your whole year ahead of you. And so I was super excited. I got a text from Marcy and Dondi just saying, hey, let's chat. Let's figure this thing out. I want you to get in front of my group with regards to some of the things that I'm super, super passionate about, guys. And they mentioned it. It's called the Vision Summit. And what I want to do is I want to go back a little bit. I want to kind of lay a foundation that allows you guys to truly understand that this just wasn't just something that I thought of, and then all of a sudden here we are today. There's been so many things that have added up to this particular moment. And I couldn't have done it without leaders like Marcy and Dondi, without leaders like the Palkas, without the Waterhouses, without so many amazing leaders that heard this crazy guy named Rai out of Utah say, hey, I really want to create something that allows anyone and everyone to plug into, that's a safe place, that's a neutral place. It's not this team and that team and this mindset and this psychology and our team does this team does that. You can't do this, you can't do this. It's just a neutral platform for 2 days out of every single month that allows all of those that have their hands raised to say, we are here, we're right here, we're right here. I'm over here. I want to grow my business. I'm anxious for 2022. I don't know what it's going to look like, but this is what I do know, that I have a purpose, that my heart is on fire, that I'm passionate, and that I'm also in the learning mindset. I've always believed in this quote that my grandfather left me. He said, "Fellowship precedes leadership." And so we always stay in this fellowship mindset, meaning we always are open to new ideas, new information, new skill sets, new ways of doing or looking at the business that allows us to truly step into the powerful person that each one of us are. And so I'm going to give you some background on the Vision Summit. Well, if we go way back to when I first started in this crazy industry that we call network marketing, and it's something that I've loved from day one, guys. When I learned this one question, when this question was posed to me, it changed my life forever. And I remember a gentleman, his name was Nathan Ricks. He was one of the number one, if not the number one guy in the whole industry in network marketing. And I'm sitting in front of him in a basement with 11 other people. And he's got Dockers on and a little button-up shirt. And I thought, who the heck is this guy? Well, he started to reprogram my brain, and it's never stopped. And he asked me this one question. He says, how many of you know what leverage is? And I'm like, leverage, like a catapult, like you use a pivot, you use a lever and it catapults some things. I had no idea, guys. I was 27 years old at the time. I'm 45 now. 27 years old. I hear the word leverage. And he says, let me ask you this question. Would you rather receive 1% of 100 people's efforts or 100% of your own? Now think about that question. We all are instantly, we go, well, man, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts. But if we really truly understand leverage, which I think we do, that's why we're on this phone call. That's what we're so passionate about. That's why we're excited about LifeVantage, was this leverage that I could create as a 27-year-old with 3 little beautiful daughters. And I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I had a high school education, and venture capitalists had just come in and take over our beef jerky company. And now I'm staring at network marketing and learning about leverage. And what I learned, though, on that one day that's changed my life, and then I'll get to the point of what this actually means, is that I realized for the first time that I could have 100% control over the destiny or my life with regards to my financial freedom and my health freedom and my time freedom, or the freedom to choose and do what I want, where I want, with who I want, and when I want. And so I got really, really focused. And now I started my journey. I was 27 years old. I was this young kid on fire, and I became one of the fastest growing distributors in that company within 14 months. And the only thing that I did was this thing that I'm going to share with you today. And it was, at the time, it was called a fly-in. Now, what this fly-in was what Nathan Ricks took the top leaders across the board of his company, and he said, hey, Dondi, hey, Rai, hey, other leader, what if we created a platform that allowed neutrality into, for one weekend out of the month, that allowed people to fly into our headquarters, and they're able to shake the president's hand. They're able to shake the executives' hands. They're able to leverage the building. They're able to bring their new prospects in and showcase the building and showcase the science and showcase the doctors and showcase the advisory board, the field managers, the CSO, the COO, the CMO, all of those types of things, all of the legal, Jesse Adams. And so I thought, holy cow, well, let me give you a background on what we started. We called that the fly-in, which was basically anyone on the Friday and Saturday, one weekend out of every month, people could fly into the corporate headquarters and then they would be taught. First of all, they would take the tour of the facility. And then from 12 to 6 o'clock that evening, they were taught why LifeVantage, why network marketing, why these products, why. And then on Saturday, they were able to learn how to do the business, literally the foundation that allows a brand new distributor or allows a person that's stuck at rank, or it allows a person that is now re-engaging and growing their business to now be a part of something on how to drastically shorten the learning curve to be able to build their business very quickly, but not, and I always ask people, do you want to do network marketing the right way or the wrong way? And everyone says, well, right, of course I want to do it the right way. Well, this was the platform. This was the foundation for us as leaders to really, truly give back to the brand new person or to any distributor that was like this. I'm right here. I want to learn. Let's go. I want to grow. Now, what happens is that we have to invest in ourselves. Anytime you have skin in the game, what tends to happen to the mindset? Well, we look at it very differently, right? We now have skin in the game. We have our schedule. We're proactive. We have finances that are saying, I'm going to book a ticket to come into Salt Lake City. Therefore, I'm going to take this really, really serious. See, it's easy to sit in our comfort zone and say, oh, I wish network marketing would work for me. But yet when we have skin in the game, the mindset changes and said, hey, you got to treat this like $1 billion business, but yet it's your business. You have to, what? You have to make it successful. Well, how do we make it successful? We invest in it. And so a lot of times people come to me, Dondi and Marcy, and they say, well, man, that seems like a lot of extra cost to come into Utah and spend 2 days. Well, if that's how you're viewing it, that's the same mindset that keeps you stuck where you're currently at. But if you look at it and say, wow, I have the ability to grow my business and grow myself with hundreds of other leaders and people in the business and get tips of how to do this business more efficiently, to shorten the learning curve more drastically, which actually allows you to gain traction in your business. And so what we saw, guys, let me just tell you the numbers. We started this with our particular company. It was the first company that I joined in network marketing. We started with 16 leaders that said, I'm in. Nathan, this is great. This sounds great. We each get a topic. We'll talk Friday on why to do the business, Saturday on how to do the business. Each night, each team leader gets to take their teams and they get to go what? Build relationships of trust. They get to ask questions. They get to answer questions. They get to build team culture. They get to do fun things that become memorable, because what is network marketing to RiFi? Network marketing to me should absolutely be fun. It should be something that we jump out of bed and say, I am so grateful that I said yes to my own life and that I get to run my own life, and it should be fun. Do people reject you? Yes. Is there attrition in your business? Yes. Are there dream stealers? Yes. But that should not deter us from having fun every single day. And so we thought, holy cow, there's 16 people that are going to start to invite. Now, this is a recruiting tool. This isn't just to come kumbaya. This is to build your business month to month to month. There's a terminology that I use and that I learned early on in my career, and it said BAM FAM. You guys write that down. BAM-FAM. Build a meeting from a meeting, right? So we get to build from one of the biggest leveraging points as far as exposure, as far as everything that you could possibly dream of, is at the Vision Summit. Now, what do I mean by that? There's 6 tiers of exposure that we learn in network marketing. Okay, if I was to say, hey, Linda, I got your business card on my windshield at the grocery store. I don't know who you are, but you left me your business card. Okay, that's a type of exposure. Or would this exposure be different? hey, fly in, you're going to meet the owners, you're going to meet the president, you're going to meet the CMO. We're going to spend 2 days with 300 plus people, and we're going to learn how to do the business, why to do the business, the science behind everything. And we get to touch, feel, taste, and absolutely have an experience as far as that exposure. Would that be a high exposure compared to a business card on a windshield? Okay, so even though they're exposures, there's different leveraging points that we get to use to grow our business. Now, the distributor that uses a higher level of exposure, that person will automatically grow faster than the person that's doing it one-on-one. Now, are one-on-ones good? Yes. Is a phone call to another person important? Yes. Or would it be more important if I got 10 people to a global convention? What would have a bigger impact? 10 people at a global convention, right? Because there's social what? There's social confirmation when a person walks in and they see 100 to 200 other people just like them going, I'm here from Minnesota, I'm here from New York, I'm here from Arizona, I'm here from Florida, I'm here from Iowa, I'm here from Utah, I'm here from California, I'm here from Europe, I'm here from Israel. And all of a sudden, everyone goes, holy cow, you're here for the same reasons as me? And all of a sudden, that social proof starts to literally get absorbed by that person's mind and heart. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that we get to leverage. Okay, if we're in the networking business, the key word that should be driving our mindset is leverage, right? That word should be everything that drives us. If you're building your business, you always want to ask yourself, is this getting me leverage? Am I leveraging others? Now, think about this, guys. Dondi and Marcy Nettles, some of the greatest leaders that I've worked with in almost 20 years, pro nines in the business, right? They love on their people. They are servant-minded leaders. And you guys are lucky to be in their group. Let me just assure you that. I'm lucky because they trusted me long enough to start gaining traction, and they are a pivotal point. They are a pivotal puzzle piece in the Vision Summit that has made it very, very successful. And so they take a topic. Dondi takes a topic. Marcy takes a topic. I take a topic. Seth Mulder takes a topic. Greg Palka, Pro 8, takes a topic. The Waterhouses take a topic. Pro 7s. This whole program for 2 days is being led by 16 to 20 plus leaders on 20 different topics that will breathe life into your business and breathe life into your soul that will allow you to gain traction with your business. Now, here's the challenge that I gave to everyone. Would you say a fly-in, and now this doesn't make it right or wrong, but if you look at the tiers of exposure, and global would be one of the biggest exposures that we could do. Would you agree with that? Just nod your head. Okay. Now, what would be a second exposure that would be just under a global? Could we kindly say probably an LVA, right? That becomes a regional where a Pro 10 or a Pro 9 or a Pro 8 will go in, they'll do a little kumbaya, and then the next morning they do 4 hours, and then everyone gets excited. That's an LVA. That's a great way to leverage your business. Now, what about EA? Okay, Elite Academy. That's in between the LVA and the global. Now, what about your local meeting? Would that just be another tier? Okay, and then a webinar, and then a link to the video, or a one-on-one, or a coffee conversation. You can see how the tiers of exposure start to, either go up or go down. Now, where would you put Vision Summit in that line of exposure? What would it be? Okay, everyone says, well, it can't be bigger than a global convention. And I look at it and I say, this will be much bigger than a global convention. Why? Because at a global convention, okay, let me just tell you, if Teresa goes to a global convention, or Mary, or Emmy, or Riza, or Mar, or Bev, wherever you are, if you guys go to a global convention, you sit in a seat, you listen to a great presentation, but do you get to shake Steve Fife's hand? Do you get to have interaction with Steve Fife in a one-on-one, or he sits in front of you and speaks to you directly for 15 to 20 minutes, and then followed up by Justin Rose, and then Dr. Brian Dixon, and then our legacy program president, And then we got Jesse Allen. And then we got Kamal Photo that runs our app and all the technology and the psychology behind that. Now imagine your brand new person sitting there and they shake the hands of each one of those executives. They get a tour of the whole facility in the building. They get to see, they get to literally say, this is the company that I'm partnering with. This is phenomenal. They get to ask personal questions to not only you, but other successful leaders that are sitting next to them. When we go out and we have lunch and we're rubbing shoulders and we're communicating, and all of a sudden Linda asks Rai a question that maybe she's asked Dondi or Marcy 100 times, and all of a sudden I answer that question a little bit differently, and all of a sudden it lights the switch or it turns the switch on, and she's now on fire. It's different perspectives, it's different hearts, it's different vision, it's different passion. That's what the Vision Summit allows us to do above and beyond a global, an LVA, an EA, or anything. You get to come in and touch and feel and taste and smell and do everything that you possibly can at the headquarters. Now, we've had successful people to where, let me give you the numbers. When we started in our first company, okay, that started 18 and a half years ago, almost 19 years that I've been in this career, okay? There was 16 people in the original meeting. Do you realize that that number grew from 16 to 50 to 100 to consistently 300 to 600 people every single month flying into the headquarters, building their business from a meeting, by a meeting from a meeting, right? Building a meeting from a meeting. And they got in the rhythm of just bringing their new people to that and leveraging what? The top leaders in the business that were able to display or present in such a way that your new distributors looking at it and saying, oh my goodness, Teresa, this is amazing. Here's a question that I have for you. And Teresa's able to say, that's a great question, Rai Fry. Hey, Dondi, come on over, listen to Rai Fry's question about the comp. What would you say? And we get to leverage each other the way that network marketing should be done every single month, every single day, every single week. Now, here's the beautiful thing about that. Those numbers continue to grow all the way up to the point where this company, as of today, Marcy and Dondi, you might not know this. Maybe I've said this in one of those meetings in Vision Summit. This company has not missed a fly-in in 19 years straight. 19 years. They've had a monthly fly-in for their people, and that number got as big as 6,000 people came in on a monthly basis to go through that corporate building, shake the hands, go through a tour, and leverage the top leaders in that company. And what do you think happened to that company as far as growth? You have more people on the same page, okay? Because if we look at the field, okay? A confused mind is what in the field? A frozen mind. If you're confused, you're frozen and you're not building your business. Would you agree? Because you're now stuck on analyzing how I need to do this, what I need to do to become a scientist, to tell people about Protandem, and we call that analysis paralysis. Instead, if you got empowered from month to month, every single month by building your business and letting leverage drive your business forward, because when a brand new person joins from the fly-in, what do they do now? They have faith in the fly-in. They go out and they talk to their brand new person and they say, hey, Florence, I just got back from Salt Lake City. This is what I experienced. Will you join me next month? And all of a sudden you saw teams, Dondi and Marcy, you saw teams get creative. They started getting very forward thinking, meaning what? They started booking out hotels years in advance for their team to be able to have what? The closest hotel rooms. They started calling the different restaurants at the evening to do what? Team building and culture and so forth, to where they were proactively building their business, knowing that their people, instead of driving 20 minutes down the freeway to the closest hotel room, they had the hotels right in the parking lot. And what was that a great gift for? They got to walk across the street to the corporate building. They got to stay close. They got to stay in the heartbeat. Guys, that's what I mean. Now, what happened with that is that leaders started to get really creative. And why would they get creative? Because they're building market share. When all of a sudden you start to compete with other cross-line leaders, that's a good thing. Competition is a beautiful thing for our company. It doesn't mean that we're competing against each other, but we are competing with regards to the market share. As the company grows from 250 million to 500 million, you now have the responsibility as a leader to say, how much percentage of that new growth is in our group? And so collectively as a team, you start to get really creative. Marcy and Donnie, we had leaders that would drive from New York. We'd always say, who was the person that drove the farthest? And you'd be like, New York City, Canada. And you're like, holy cow, you drove 28, 34 hours to be here for 2 days? Yes, they did. And they knew why, because of the importance of how effective this Vision Summit was for them. But guys, let me tell you, when we started that program, we were a $1.1 billion company. Today, that company is a $2.9 billion and growing. What's the foundational piece for that company? The fly-in. And it's done by distributors for distributors. Now, why is that important for us? Is because we are 100% responsible for the success and failure of our business. And so what it allows us to do is leverage corporate, but we're not being dictated in any way with regards to it being a corporate event. Because here's the mindset that happens when it becomes a corporate event. The distributor is now dependent on who? Corporate. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let me be honest, in my 20 years of experience, that is not a good position if your mindset is the company hasn't come out with the pamphlet, and until they come out with the pamphlet, that's when I'm going to be successful. Or when is the company going to do this? And if only the company did this, then I would be successful. Get rid of that mindset. If all corporate did was ship on time and pay us on time, thank the God above and say thank you every single day, and then go to work and be 1000% accountable for your business on the success or the failure. Now, the reason we love that mindset is because obviously it's our responsibility. So as leaders, we get to 100% choose into our brand new person, to our person that might be struggling, to the person that might be stuck at rank for 4 or 5 years, 6 years. It might be assisting the brand new person to collapse the learning curve, right? Because if I can get Beverly to take action quicker without spinning her wheels and being frustrated and not knowing what the next step is, okay, time is of the essence. We need to get some wins in our brand new person's sales, right? We need to blow life into them and say, this is a success. Now, let me tell you the secret of how I grew so quick and so effectively and became one of the fastest growing leaders in that company and one of only 54 Americans to hit that company's top level. Okay. I don't know what that is now, but after I transitioned to a different thing, that was the number at the time, 54 Americans. And I was super, super proud of it. Right now, not only did the company grow, but I became one of the fastest growing distributors of that growth. And here's what my mentor, my upline said. He said, Fry, if you're smart, I know you're only into the business for about the last 2 months. You don't know exactly everything and anything about becoming a professional network marketer, but this is what I want you to focus on for the next year. He said, make your first million my way, and then you can go make your next millions however you want. And I said, okay, Nathan, I'll do exactly what you're telling me to do. He said, go put as many people as you possibly can every single month into the fly-in. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about presenting. Just get really, really good at inviting people to what? The fly-in. Because he knew that people would have a social proof. There would be a conviction, there would be testimonies, there'd be heartfelt, there'd be tears, there'll be real stories that move people to the decisions of their life that ultimately change their lives. Isn't that a beautiful thing? And so even though I didn't know how to present elegantly and talk about the 5 key points of a presentation and go through the company and the products and the timing and the leverage and comp plan like Nathan did, but I did know this, is that if 100 people were in that room and RiFi had 30 of those people out of the 100, how much market share did RiFi have? 30%. And so I started understanding the math of, if I just looked at how big the fly-in was growing and I had a big percentage of my group in that number, then my business was ultimately doing what? It was growing, guys. It was growing. I could measure it. I could literally go from, I had 30 people in month 1. I had 15 people month 2, but it grew to 200 people. So if I had 15 of 200, how much did I have? 7.5%. Well, month 1, I had 30%. I'd lost market share. And so every single month I was like, okay, am I gaining market share? Am I losing market share? Am I gaining? And so we got really fixated on getting butts in seats, because I knew that I would leverage everything that was at my fingertips, at my disposal, the biggest tier of exposure for someone to make what? What are we ultimately wanting someone to do? Make a decision to become a customer or a distributor. Well, where do they make those decisions? At the biggest tiers of exposure. And so the fly-in is something that I'm super proud of. We took that same template. Now, why did I bring that template to corporate? Because I had had experience and proof that I could build a massive organization, guys. That organization, for 1 year, me just putting butts in seat month after month after month after month, and I did not miss a fly-in, did not miss one. And the leaders that had people there consistently, month over month, you could literally look at them and say, they grew in rank, their organizational volume grew, they're the fastest growing groups in the company, and literally you could just watch it in front of your very face month to month. And then at Global, what happened? Oh my gosh, there goes so-and-so. He's now a blue diamond in the company. He was only an emerald, right? Which would be like a pro 6 to a pro 11 within a year. How does it happen? Leveraging the biggest tiers of exposure. And so the leaders that get consistently super, super focused on this Vision Summit, I promise you, and I know that's a strong word, promise, you will have the biggest growth, not only in your personal life, but you'll have the biggest growth in your company, the biggest growth in your business, the biggest growth in everything that you ultimately want deep down inside your heart and in your mind of what you want out of LifeVantage. Because what I thought of and what I saw was that for 2 days, now we do the second Friday and second Saturday of every single month, unless there is a EA, okay, going on. So in February, that Elite Academy falls on the second Friday, Saturday. We will not have a fly-in or a global convention. Now, all of the LVAs are on a different weekend. So we picked that second Friday, Saturday to not have any conflict with anything that was another high level exposure point for you to build your business. So there was no excuses for anyone not to come into corporate. Now, why didn't we do this before when we were in our old building? Has everyone seen our old building? Just raise your hands and I'll be able to see. Some of you new people over in the Philippines and so forth, I understand you hadn't seen it, but we didn't have a distributor-driven building that was exciting enough for us to bring people to that building. We do now, and it's a beautiful building surrounded by hotels, surrounded by restaurants, surrounded by, factory malls and so forth. We have a Delta hub, so it's very simple and easy for people to fly in and fly out. They can literally fly in early in the Friday morning and be back in their bed Saturday night. And leveraging, I don't care if you're on the East Coast, Midwest, or the West Coast, you can get into Utah and back in the same day, and all of a sudden you've been building your business. Now, the second Friday and Saturday of every single month, we will not miss. We've got dedicated leaders. We, in fact, and Dondi and Marcy can attest to this, we have leaders that are pounding our doors down saying, can I please come? We love what you're doing. Can we get on the stage? And there's only so much room for so much, right? And so what we've done is we've got a committee in place. We're all 1000% dedicated to it. This is not just the Rye Vision Summit. The only way this is successful is getting a handful of crazy, amazing leaders that think they can change the world, and then all of a sudden we are. Do you guys realize that we blew out the last event in November? Corporate kind of looked at us and said, we'll see how this fly-in goes. We'll support it. We'll kind of let you, take advantage of the building. Now, in the building, they have a certain portion of the building that holds about, I think the limit is 85 people. Is that right? Somewhere in there? We blew that thing out to 190 people. So they were worried fire code was going, like, oh my gosh, what do we do? Well, we made it work. Now, the beautiful thing is that Dondi, Marcy, and other people in the committee were already out in front of it. Well, what if we continue to grow to 300, 400, 500 people? We already have venues selected right across the street that accommodate that. So we will stay out in front of it. We will continue to pour into this business because it is by far, to me, if anyone asks me, you really feel like this is a bigger leveraging point than Global Convention? Absolutely. Because at Global Convention, I can listen and hear people, but I don't get the interaction, the emotion that literally is right in front of my face. If Florence is there, Florence is 6 inches to 8 inches to a foot away from me when I'm speaking about my testimony, when I'm speaking about certain topics, when I'm sharing my emotions of what I've been through to keep going, all the different things that I've had to overcome, and then to see the breakthroughs. That is what moves every single person in the room. And believe it or not, guys, this platform is not for Master Pro 10s and 9s and 8s. This is a way that we can continue to grow and groom. I love that word, groom, because I needed grooming. I didn't know everything about network marketing, become an instant professional. And so this was a way that Nathan Ricks used a platform to develop what? New leaders that have passion in their belly, that have fire in their eyes, and that have a purpose that they will continue to be something with this business, and they are going to go after their goals. So we wanted to create a platform that allowed the Pro 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s the voice to be able to share their experience, to share their testimonies, to share in the victories, not just at the highest level, but at these lower levels that keep us going. Because I promise you this, the level 4 or the level 3 that goes through and has skin in the game and has their first breakthrough will move the room far greater than a Master Pro 10. I promise you, that emotion will penetrate your hearts, and you will go up and give that Pro 3 the biggest hug of your life, and you'll become friends for life. And so what we did is we created a neutral platform for 2 days every month for every single person to pour into the fly-in or the Vision Summit and know that it's safe for you to send your people, that you will have a safe place that'll talk about the certain topics to becoming a professional. It'll talk about the certain topics of LifeVantage, from compensation plan to how to build your story, to how to create a names list, to how to invite properly, to how to present, to the science behind the product, to all these different things. We do recognition. We have lunch together. We go and have dinner together. Usually, a lot of us end up at the same place. And I'm just here to tell you guys, if you really, truly want to have a massive 2022, this event cannot be missed on your calendar. And it has to be taken serious. And I would challenge every single person that can hear my voice, if you truly want to have one of the best years of your life, it's not going to be easy. You're still going to trip. You're still going to stumble. You're still going to cry. You're still going to want to quit. You're still going to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. But I promise you, every single month, you'll look back and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I've come a long way. Oh my goodness, I'm even further. Oh my goodness, I'm even further. Isn't it interesting that every single day seems to be the same year to year, but when you look back on it on a whole year, you're like, holy cow, there's amazing things and a lot has happened this year. And so that's the same way with your business. It just allows you to be able to measure where you're at month to month. Now, How long can a single log stay on fire by itself? Not very long. But what happens when you take a single log that's almost out and you dump it into an inferno of other logs that are all together? And that is what the Vision Summit is. So I don't care if you're a Master Pro 10. There's Master Pro 10s that need to plug into the Vision Summit because they're almost out. Yeah, they're retired. Yeah, they have got great income coming in. But what's going on inside is that fire is almost out. And if everyone's being honest, I've been at that place in my life. Pro 9, Pro 8. You know, my fire was almost out. I'm good enough. I'm making good money. Pro 8. Wow, big jump to Pro 9. You know, it is what it is. I'm just going to enjoy my life. The fire was going out. I needed the Vision Summit more so than the brand new person at Pro 1. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to light fires within people. We're going to light people on fire. And we're going to continue to breathe life and oxygen into that massive inferno from month to month. And I promise you this, when you go and you leave the fly-in or the Vision Summit and you go back to your home, you will stay on fire long enough to make it back the following month. And you will continue to stay on fire. That is what is important about the Vision Summit. And you're going to learn, you're going to grow in so many different ways. I want to leave you with this. You know what is one of the most difficult things as a leader? What do you think the most difficult thing is for a leader? It's to see someone with so much potential make so many excuses. Pretty interesting, right? And so when you look at 2022 and you say to yourself, no more excuses, I'm going to plug into the highest tiers of exposure that give me my biggest bang for my buck, that'll give me more traction than any one thing that I can expose my people to and not make any excuses, you will continue to change this company, change your life, change hundreds of thousands of people that speak your name today, even though your feet have not yet hit their living rooms. I've been a living testimony of that, guys. My business has taken me to 42 countries, places I've never dreamt of in this world. I've never thought of being in Vietnam or in Thailand or in Singapore or all through Europe or in Nigeria, in Africa. I mean, I've been everywhere, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, you name it. And what was I doing? Chasing my business with people that spoke my name, even though I didn't know it at the time, and my feet hit their living rooms and we changed the world together. And so Donnie and Marcy, that's what I'm excited about with the Vision Summit. That's what this group gets to plug into. It's there for everyone. It's a free event other than you just get there. Now, we've talked to local hotels. We've talked to local restaurants that give you a LifeVantage discount. So there's no excuse. You could put 4 people in a room for $90. That's $22 for one night and then a $150 ticket. You can't not spend $250 knowing what you're going to get out of that. And so it's an investment in yourself and in your business that will pay you for decades moving forward. So anyway, that's all I have to say. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I love you guys. And here's why. I always respect and appreciate and praise anyone who says yes to their life. That's what you're doing. That's my kind of people. I'll be in the trenches with you, building alongside of you. I'm not walking in front of you. I'm not behind you. We're right there next to you guys. And Marcy, Dondi, I love you guys. Thank you for catching the vision, and your breath of life that you breathe into that inferno is incredible. And we're really blessed to have you guys there month to month.
Right. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Seriously, the fire, right, guys? Do you feel like you are just ignited right now? Because you should. And once you come to Vision Summit, that fire is just going to be stoked so much that your confidence and your posture is actually going to change for your day-to-day interactions with the people that you want to share this opportunity with. So there's so many different reasons why you need to come. But just for me personally, you know, I've had some guests that have come, and this has been the I don't want to say it's easy, but the simplest exposures and the simplest enrollments that I've had in my history with LifeVantage, because I didn't have to do any of the heavy lifting. All of the heavy lifting was done by all of the other leaders and all of the other attendees, because you don't have to be an elite distributor to be able to lift some of the weight for the people around you that have prospects. So being, elite distributors, it is so nice to have a place that we can go to where each one of you is actually helping to lift the load for us as well as the leadership. We are just blessed and honored to be part of this, and we pray that each one of you will participate in this. One thing I do want to clarify is that in the month of January, it's not the second weekend, because it's kind of a weird weekend, the way the weekends fall in January. So it's January 21st and 22nd. The links are in the comments on Zoom, or if you're part of the Team Freedom Marines Facebook page, you have that in the announcements. Those links are in the announcements on that Facebook page. So please go and register. I know that we already have close to 100 for January's event, and I think we have to cap it at about 150. So if you're planning on going in January, please go and get pre-registered and get your guests there too.
Absolutely. And right, we are just incredibly humbled and blessed that you thought enough of us to invite us to partake of this, because when we first heard about it, and I have to be completely transparent, it sounded too good to be true, or it sounded good in theory. And I'm just thinking this is going to be kind of disappointing, right? Because you've been in other network marketing companies, but you haven't been in LifeVantage. You haven't seen the culture. You haven't seen the things that happen in the field, the negative side of this, and you have, obviously. And so I have to be honest and say I was a little skeptical about, it sounded good in theory, but could we really pull it off? Could we really get multiple 16 to 20 different elite distributors or master distributors in the same room and be able to keep that neutrality and honor that neutrality, and more specifically, guard it with our lives and make that the most important thing, so that everybody's prospects could be welcome? And the answer was not only yes, but heck yes, we could do that. And then now, having 4 of them under our belts, there's one thing that I wanted to share with everybody that I see permeated, and that is belief. And that when you see Steve Fife, our president and CEO, get tears in his eyes looking at the possibility of this event, and then he does his part and then he leaves. And then it just happens to be that our board of directors are there for their quarterly meeting. And instead of catching her plane, that Erin Brockovich decide to delay her flight, catch another flight later that night, and come see what this Vision Summit thing is all about. And not only come in and listen for a while, but say, you know what? Can I get up and just tell people how effing good these products are? But she didn't say effing. She used
said the actual word.
Our sensors didn't catch it and bleep it out in time. But when she was talking, then Steve Fife got back up there, and the two of them had this most amazing impromptu session talking about their vision of LifeVantage as it relates to the Vision Summit and what this event means to the future of this company. And then watch that same thing be demonstrated by every single person who got up and spoke on the Friday, the why we do this. And the corporate leaders get up there and literally just go, now they're strategizing, how can we make this bigger? How can we make keep this event in these headquarters? What kind of walls do we have to tear down to accommodate this? And then the thing that I wasn't expecting was the Saturday, where staff, people that are employees of LifeVantage, literally volunteering to come spend their downtime
Saturdays
on their Saturday with us at this event because they appreciate it so much. And they said this is their favorite event.
The energy.
That is really cool. And I'll last thing I think, and this is for anybody who may be skeptical, this event is, if it's anything, it's predictable, because it's the same every time. So when you're there and you think this amazing event, well, yeah, this was awesome, but is it going to be that way next time? It's going to be the exact same thing. You might even have the luxury of seeing a different presenter talk about the same exact information with the same exact slide. So it is consistent, it's predictable, so that you know when you have a prospect in that room, there's a very, very strong north of 95% likelihood that they're going to be your newest distributor. Because there's one I saw a guy who's never done network marketing before, Guy just went through a divorce, lost everything. He's desperate. He's there. He sees this and goes, this is my next calling in life. And you don't know who the prospects are or what rank they are because it's very clandestine. And then another lady was the equivalent of an executive master pro 10. When she's like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and joined on the spot. So when you can see somebody who's never done it before join on the spot, somebody who is the equivalent of our top leaders in our company join on the spot, saying they've never seen any unity like this before, that built we were listening, we were observing that whole thing. That built our belief in the event, our belief in the power of it. And again, just extreme gratitude to you, Wi-Fi, for bringing it here.
Hey, Donnie, let me add to that, because you brought up a key word that is the I think the cornerstone of what the Vision Summit is, and that's belief, right? Guys, there's 6 things that happen in your life that are happening all day, whether you understand it or not. Number 1, programming. Everything starts and finishes with the programming of when you took your first breath to where you are now. And if the programming leads to what? Feelings lead to belief leads to action leads to result leads to lifestyle. So if we get focused on doing the work, reprogramming our brain, becoming a better individual, we increase the feeling it's belief then feeling. When we increase the belief level, that leads and tends to change what? The feeling that we have towards network marketing, our business, the products, the people, the culture, the events, all of those things. And then that leads to the action. Whenever I have a distributor that's not in action, I know that the programming is off to where the belief is low, which means the feeling towards whatever they're doing is low, and the activity always mirrors what? The feeling. And so we get really focused on the belief. Now, there's certain things that increase belief, especially in network marketing, and that is skills. This is where you are going to learn to sharpen your axe as a distributor, is at the Vision Summit. One of my good friends, he said this, he says, right, don't wish for money, wish for skills. Money may come and go, but skills will last a lifetime. In fact, money tends to follow skills. Focus on developing timeless, non-disruptive, high-value skills. You know, the ones that very few folks have a desire to build. Think about that, guys. This is where the belief will go through the roof, the belief of your brand new distributor. Now, if the brand new distributor, it leaves on fire and their belief is, I am all in, let's go, let's build this. Isn't that a great opportunity for you to leverage that excitement and run with them? Because when their belief's at an all-time high, they're going to expose what? Their network to you that allows you to sort and sift and drive volume with them. And so, guys, this is all linked. I call it the ultimate simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And network marketing is simple, but it is so sophisticated. But when you start to understand how entwined every little step is and how it can gain traction and gain momentum very, very quickly, this is what you'll start to recognize very quickly at the Vision Summit, of how all of this is linked together to increase belief, which increases what? The feeling of what you're doing. And if the feeling is at an all-time high, do you have a problem calling your best friend? Do you have a problem calling to someone on your chicken list? Do you have a problem talking to the stranger next to you on the plane? No, no, and no. And so let's increase the belief. Let's increase the feeling. The action will mirror that. And what happens when you increase your action? The results will show up. You'll have more customers. You'll have people that are interested in the business. They'll be joining the business, which creates what? Results. It creates ranks. It creates organizational volume. It creates everything. And your activity will always feed your feeling towards it. So if you have an increase in activity, you only increase the feeling, which does what? Increases the activity, and the results show up to where you're now living a lifestyle of what? Freedom. This has nothing to do with money, right? Money allows freedom. Freedom creates happiness to do what we want, when we want, where we want, with who we want. So that is what I love about what we're doing. And you're right, Dondi, I still know for a fact, there's a lot of people that are still doubting the fact that we're going to pull this off, that we're going to stick to it long enough, that it's really going to take traction. There's no way, no way, no way. And it's old stinky thinking. and I'm over it. And I'm stepping up to it, and I'll stand against anyone in a very respectful, loving way. And I don't ever have to apologize to anyone. Why? Because I know that the Vision Summit will add value and be a benefit and a blessing to anyone who sits in front of that for 2 days. They will never walk up to me and say, that was the biggest waste of time. I want my money back. And I would pay anybody the amount that they invested into it if that's their experience. And I promise you, you guys will leave on fire. So I could go all night. I'm excited. You can tell my feeling towards LifeVantage is at an all time, and we'll just continue to run with that. But Dondi, Marcy, I love you guys. I appreciate your leadership, and I'm very appreciative of you guys.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And guys, I got to tell you, you hear his passion, you feel his passion, right? Don't you want your prospects in front of him for an opportunity presentation? Well, he's actually going to be doing the opportunity presentation on the Friday of January's Vision Summit, because we always present the opportunity to everybody in attendance, along with letting them hear from our executives. So get registered. If you have questions, reach out to us, because we are here for you. That's what this is all about, right? Anything
Absolutely.
you want to add in here?
No, just like Rai said, if you do sit through these 2 days and say, that's the biggest waste of my time, I'm going to have to check your pulse and check your vision and check your hearing. Or you just have no clue about what network marketing is, because we've seen the exact opposite. We've seen people whose fire has gone out or was about to. When Mark Shinsato, one of the 3 executive master pro 10s at LifeVantage, told us in the breakout room, is like, this is the most amazing event I've ever been to. And Master Pro 10's Gabe and Jill Pearson said the same thing with tears in their eyes. That's when you know you're onto something big, and we are onto something big. This is going to define what 2022 is going to look like for LifeVantage, and more specifically your individual businesses. We love all of you, which is why we wanted to bring this to you. Please, please, please capitalize on this. It's going to be predictable. It's going to be happening every second Saturday or Friday and Saturday of every month, except the Elite Academies and conventions. And we're just honored to be a part of it. And thank you, Rai, again, for the invitation to join. We are all in and committed for a year, and likely more.
It'll be more. We're in for life. We're in for life.
It's the best thing we've ever been involved in, other than our initially joining LifeVantage, with the potential that we see. So thank you for your vision, and thank you for bringing this to LifeVantage.
Yes. All right, guys. So get yourselves registered. If you have questions, reach out to us. And by the way, if you were a 2021 Shooting Stars qualifier, make sure that you check your email too, because we have a special event this coming Saturday. Questions on that, reach out to me. Okay. All right, guys, we love you. Have a great night. Happy New Year. And if you're ready to launch or relaunch your business in 2022, we will be seeing you at Vision Summit.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again, Rai. Please give Christy our best. Tell her we love her. See you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for
Bye,
joining.
guys.
Thank you, Florence.